Video by Maxwellsteel. One afternoon I was at my house bored with nothing to do. Then I heard a knock at the door. It was my friend Bunny. Bunny plays guitar and wanted to jam. I play drums. We went upstairs where the equipment was. Bunny had another idea before we started to jamming. She wanted me to eat these mushrooms that were dried up and nasty looking. I told her I didn't like mushrooms and asked her why she wanted me to take them. Bunny said they'll make you feel good and you'll see things that you've never seen before. I thought I'd give them a try. Little did I know what I was in for. I took 3 big handfuls, one right after the other, and washed it down with a Coca-Cola. They tasted bad. Bunny and I proceeded to jam. We were throwing down some Slayer. Slayer is a metal band that we both like. I was doing a roll down the toms and all of a sudden my arms felt like they were made of rubber and my head felt like a helium balloon on a string. My coordination had been lost. This heavy feeling came over me like I was underwater. I told Bunny that I felt weird and couldn't play anymore. I felt like I was enclosed in a box. The walls felt like they were closing in on me. I told Bunny that I had to do something like go outside, or should I stay inside? I found that making decisions was difficult. Finally we decided to go outside. It was a very cold winter night. We went for a walk and I noticed that when I looked at things they would move on their own. I would look away real fast because it would trip me out. When I tripped out it made me feel sick, like I had the flu. I remember people talking about being on acid and liking it when things seemed to move on their own. I did not. We ended up in a field looking up at the stars. They were unusually bright. At times I could see the stars falling down at me. At other times they looked like they were on strings, just hanging in the cold sky. I saw lights in the sky that I had never seen before and asked Tammie why. She said that mushrooms make your pupils dilated, which let more light in than usual. The light I saw was car headlights shining into the sky. I was tripping out hard and didn't know if I liked it or not. I felt drunk. I barely had any balance. The drug was taking effect very strong now. Tripping, standing in a field looking at the stars, I could hear something moving on the ground behind me. It startled me. I grabbed Tammie and really freaked out. Tammie said, "Look, it's only your cat Pegasus." I was scared. Something that stepped so lightly sounded like an elephant tromping over the snow. I turned around to see if it was really my cat. I felt like I wasn't moving as I turned. I could see the fence roll along the field going by. It was blurry and it had tracers coming off it like when someone makes a circle with a lit cigarette in the dark. Then when I got all the way around to a stop, the fence row kept moving in my sight. About 3 seconds later, when the fence stopped, I focused onto a big white ball of fur. Finally I realized it was my cat. Seeing my cat made me feel a little more secure with myself. I felt much better. Tammie and I decided to go back in the house where it was warm. We got to the house and went in. The lights were so bright I had to squint to see. The first thing I did was look in the mirror. My face was as white as snow with little red splotches all over it. My pupils covered the brown color my eyes usually were and made them look black. I couldn't stand it. I had to get away from the mirror. I went upstairs where Tammie had already been sitting there in a daze. I went to sit down and felt like I wanted to stand up. It was weird. I couldn't make any decisions. By this time I was feeling very anxious. After being in the house for a while trying to watch TV, we decided to go back outside. We got outside and by that time I didn't even know my name. It had been 2 hours into the trip and I felt nervous, calm, happy, sad, mad, drunk, and just totally weirded out. I turned to Tammie and said I can't handle this anymore and had to go to sleep. She said okay and went home. I remember a friend telling me that mushrooms had a lot of natural caffeine in them. I knew I probably couldn't go to sleep. Actually, I just wanted to get through this trip by myself. I went up to my room and laid down. As I laid there I got this funny feeling in my body that just drove me crazy and I had to move around just to get it to go away. It felt like all the muscles in my body were knotted up. My head felt like someone was running their fingers through my hair, scratching my scalp with their fingernails. When I closed my eyes I could see vines growing. They were brilliant green and had reds, yellows, and blues coming out of the buds that were growing off this cane. The vine was cool and so were the stars, but that's about the only thing that was cool. I couldn't get to sleep. The drug would not let me. My heart would race and I felt like I was going to explode or even die. The feeling would go on and then just stop. I would feel at ease and then all of a sudden it would start again. I had calmed myself and everything was alright. Finally, about 8 hours later I came down off the effects the mushrooms had put on me and went to sleep. The next day I woke up in the late afternoon. I went downstairs and sat in the recliner. I felt dead. All the muscles in my body ached from all the tension I went through the night before. I thought about how some people take mushrooms all the time. I'm not one of those people. Tammie was right, I felt and seen things that I never had felt before and I'll never do it again. The end.